Hello and welcome to my Elden Ring no-hit run. It's my first no-hit run ever. Took me a little over 2 months to route, practice, and execute, and I just named my character Was because it's easy to type. Give myself the Lands Between rune just to have some startup money, and we started Samurai because it has the bow, and the Uchi is a nice starting weapon as well. You can see I got my controller overlay in the lower right, showing what I'm doing all the time. Get rid of all this stuff because I don't need it here. And I'll be narrating for my friends who either don't play Elden Ring or otherwise don't really know what's going on, so sometimes I'll be explaining some pretty basic concepts, maybe. Anyway, first up is the Grafted Scion, which is of course not required, but I fight him anyway because I think it's cooler. And I don't use parrying because I think it's cooler to not parry. And just wait for him to do something. Get some punishes in. We get a first stagger. Nice. Pause, and then punch with a charge attack here. Scream to go away. Jump attack. We get another stagger, which is really nice. Sometimes he'll kind of stall, won't give you like any punish openings. But if he gives you the punish openings, they can get multiple staggers, so that's nice. And we continue on. Just running along here. Gonna fall off the cliff here, which is of course required. There's no other way to progress, so it doesn't really count. And we move on. Cutscene, get our flasks, and then we head on up to the door. While I'm opening the door, I just do some inventory management here. Here I'm just looking at my graphics settings. I like the game to look nice, even though it lowers the frame rate. It's manageable, so I don't know. If it can look nice, I'll let it look nice. Alright, and then we go out into the open world. And the reason I'm blocking a lot here is so that I can sprint and jump repeatedly without slowing down. Some background knowledge for people who don't play the game. And then the first thing I do here is I put my little shield away because I use it at the very end of the run and I don't want to accidentally sell it, so I just put it away at the beginning for safekeeping. And then we run past the tree sentinel here. Hopefully it doesn't see us. It's seen me a couple times, but I've never actually gotten hit to it because I've managed to rest at the grace in time. But anyway, yeah, here I'm blocking, and I also block to stop the pickup animation, because the pickup animation keeps you from sprinting, but if you hold block then you can immediately cancel the pickup animation, so you can keep sprinting pretty much immediately. So I'll block when I'm doing the sprint jumping here, and then also when I'm picking up items. And then sprint jumping up incline seems to be faster. I see speedrunners do it anyway, so I don't know if it's a little bit faster. I do that. Pick up some kukri here. We'll use them in a bit in setup. Also kill the guy. And then we pick up 2 root resin, which we'll use for blood grease later on, but we'll get to that. jump over these stones, and then head on over. And then I use the Lord Sworn's Greatsword for the first bit of like early game stuff here, so I'll backstab this guy. So I can safely pick up the Greatsword. And then it's just a nice weapon for the first bit of the game here before I get any upgrades or anything, and get some like early stuff out of the way. It's not like dangerous, but if I can get it out of the way really early, then you know there's just less risk later on in the run, so that's why I do that. We talk to Melanie here. Get our Spectral Steed Whistle, which of course summons our horse, Torrent. And then we summon him right away, and then do some more inventory management here. And the reason we're heading over in this direction is so we can get the Whetstone Knife to manage Ashes of War for our weapons without needing to go to the smith, because I do that a bunch in this run since I use normal non-somber weapons which you can change the Ashes of War on, so I use it a bunch. And not needing to go to the smith every time will save some time, and it's really safe to pick up. Never gotten hit picking up the Whetstone Knife there. I get my Greatsword ready here. And then coming down here we pick up this item called the Gold Pickled Foulfoot. It basically lets you gain more money from killing enemies. And we use that a couple times in this run to get more money for level ups and upgrades and such. And then right off the bat here, I equip the throwing daggers, because what we're gonna do first, or the first like boss we're gonna fight is Margit. And I use throwing daggers on him. If he like jumps away and I want to keep his poise from resetting, I just throw a dagger at him. Pick up a golden seed here for flask upgrades, and then some smithing stone upgrade materials. We'll be needing a lot of smithing stones this run, so I just pick them up where I can, because it basically just saves money. And then I pick up the stone sword key here. Use that bit. And then yes, here we are going off to Margit. And I just go up on these rocks here and then just keep to the left for a while so the enemies don't, or so the enemies aren't such an issue. And then come back here to the entrance and then jump off here right after the ballista guy. And if I do it right and quickly, the ballista guy doesn't chase after us, but if he does, it doesn't really matter. I just sit down, which resets the area. There's really no issue there. And then we just make it noon so that it's brighter, a little easier to see the boss. Then we do some sprint jumping here to start the fight. And open up with a heavy jumping attack and an R1. Gives us a nice punish. And he gives us a long combo here, and then we do our punishes. Get a nice stagger. And riposte. And yeah, the Lord Sworn's Greatsword is really nice for fighting him plus the hero. And there's the throwing dagger because he jumped away.
Warrior blood must truly run in my veins. Tarnished.
And yeah, we just fight the boss, you know. And he did this move twice in a row, which is very rare, and I've gotten hit by that before when he did it twice in a row. I wasn't expecting it, but this time I was fine. And we just let him finish his combos and then punish. And he jumped away, so I threw a dagger at him. And he's really close to the cliff here, so I don't really like this, but I went for it anyway. Just get Another stagger, another toss. And the reason I fight him really early here, like +0 without any like buffs or anything, is just to get him out of the way, because he's a pretty complicated boss. So the quicker I can get him out of the way, the less time I have to worry about him. And if I'm on like the top of my game, I can do him very consistently. But you know, just getting him out of the way early is nice to get him off my mind. And also doing him early lets me sort of show off my my boss fighting skills. Because for me, doing a no-hit run is not just about like getting to the end without getting hit. It's also about like putting on a nice performance and showing that you can fight all the bosses and that sort of thing. Just sort of, you know, show off your skills and what you've been practicing and stuff. Anyway, I've come up here, got some smithing stones, and then I immediately come up on the cliff here to shoot this guy in the head. And then sometimes this one of the guys will like run out here, like sort of inexplicably, even though I should be hidden. But anyway, yeah, we kill this next guy. And this next guy is the one who sometimes runs out as soon as you shoot the first guy. And then we just wait for him to do some attack, and then we punish. These guys, you can just do a charge attack to get both of them at the same time. Feels pretty good. And then here we're just waiting for this guy to come back around, so we just do a little dance here for a bit. Wait for him to mosey on over. These guys I have not learned how to fight, so I just wait for the backstab. I don't know, there's really no reason to learn how to fight them, so I haven't. And then we get the hook claws for later. Those will save us some time. So we pick them up here and then up here. We'll just take out some guys. And then here I was really impressed that I threaded the needle, because normally I'd have to shoot 2 arrows, one to get rid of an obstacle and then the next to kill the guy. But we got it through the obstacles this time. And then kill another guy with the bow. And then I take this route because the other route is sort of dangerous in my opinion, or I just haven't learned it, and this way seemed pretty consistent and easy anyway, so I do that. And then for this guy, we just wait for this like lunging wind attack, punish that. And it's possible to stay up in his face and just play him really close and fast, but and I have like a clip of me fighting him for 5 or 4.5 minutes up close without getting hit, but of course it is like more dangerous in a live run, so I just wait for an opening, and that's the other opening that I know how to punish really safely. There are 3 openings, but we only get to see 2 because it just takes 2 backstabs to kill him. But anyway, yeah, we get the rusty key and we move on. And the lunging wind attack on that guy took me a long time to learn how to dodge properly, because you want it like it makes you think you want to dodge early for it, but then you get roll caught by the wind explosion thingy, so you just have to dodge really late. And the reason I ran into the wall there is because I'm watching a stream as I do this just to have something in the background, and I wasn't paying attention for that little second there. I was watching dinossindgeil's Twitch stream, his god run attempts. So like that's on in the background during pretty much this whole run, except I usually pause it for boss fights so I can concentrate a little better.
Forgive to see with and it seems torrent, whereas
And then we get up to the Grace here, talk to Melina, go to Round Table Hold. After getting through the first part of Stormville Castle. So that, I do this bit at the very beginning just to get this little bit of danger out of the way, because Margit is dangerous, and then fighting that banished knight in the dark room earlier, that's somewhat dangerous as well. I've gotten hit there a bunch of times. And then here we get some starting equipment here, dagger, mace, I think they're called seals to cast spells. And then the scimitar, because the scimitar is going to be one of our three primary weapons. And after that we start setup proper. The first bit doesn't really feel like setup so much because we fight enemies and kill a boss and stuff. But then after that we have to do, I don't know, how far are we in here? 16 minutes. Then we have to do about 45 minutes of setup, or maybe like 40 minutes or so. Anyway, and I equip my Uchigatana in the left hand and the mace in the left hand so that I can two-hand them from the horse. Otherwise, if you have them in your right hand, then like when you get off the horse, they'll just be one-handed in your right hand. But if you have them in your left hand, then when you get off the horse, you'll be two-handing them. So that just saves a little bit. And the first part of setup here, the first part of setup was getting the Strength Knot crystal tier back there. The second part here is getting the Golden Vow, Ash of War. And we just sneak up on this Godrick Knight here, and we do a heavy unsheath and then 2 strong attacks. That kills his horse every time. And then when he falls off his horse, you can get the riposte. And that works every time, so it's really nice, so I don't have to worry about fighting him at all. Just do the little script. And that's fine. And then we get out our mace to help Alexander out here in a minute. And we get our first Exalted Flesh there. We'll use that for in High Road Cave to kill the Golem. Yeah, they're called Golems, I think. And then here we help out Alexander. He gives us another Exalted Flesh, and I use that one to make the Godrick fight a bit faster in second phase. So then we just do a charge attack and 1 R1 to get him out of the ground, and he gives us the Exalted Flesh we'll use later. Yes. And then move on to the next part of setup. We will go to High Road Cave later to get the Blue Dancer charm, so I get this Grace here so I can teleport here later. But for now we just we don't have the setup to clear that cave yet, so for now we just go across the bridge, get some smithing stones, and then head off to, I think it's called Summon Water Village, to loot some graveyards near there. And we just equip the Great Sword again, because we'll use it eventually for some things, and we don't need the Uchi or the mace right now. So do that. And then there are 2 graveyards to loot, and we'll be coming back to this Grace in between them. So we get this Grace to teleport to. I guess some other things I could talk about. I play on current patch 107.1 just because, I don't know, I just play on current patch because, you know, they balance the game how they want it, and I don't want to use something that they considered OP or something. Not how the game was supposed to be played, so I just play on current patch. And we just get a bunch of money here. And then this is also a no sleep run, so I don't use sleep on any enemies. And I did that because, sort of like parrying, it seems kind of lame to me, although like sleep is a lot more lame than parrying in my opinion. Just because like you're not really you're not engaging with the boss at all. You're literally putting it to sleep. Which is, it's a very like fair enough tactic for, because this is an overhead run. Do whatever you need to do to not get hit. It's very fair. But for me, I don't like it. Doesn't fit with my aesthetic of completing a no-hit run. And then, okay, so we've looted the 2 graveyards, and then come back here, and we'll continue on to the next step, which is getting the green turtle talisman to increase our stamina regeneration in combat. It's not necessary for any boss, it just makes fighting them a bit easier, less room for error. And I don't really know what else I would put in that in that talisman slot, because yeah, I can't think of another like big damage increasing talisman anyway. So there we get the green turtle talisman, and then head on out here. And the next place we'll be going to is the Gale Tunnel to get the Grace there. We don't actually do anything in Gale Tunnel other than get the Grace, and it's only to make... how should I say this? I don't know, it's so we don't have to like walk this part 2 times. This Grace is like halfway between 2 different things we need to, like 2 unconnected things we need to get to. So we get it here so we can go do one thing, teleport back here so we don't have to run back and then move on. You might be able to see it. I don't know if I'm explaining it well. Anyway, we get the Grace in the tunnel, and then we move on to... we do a little graveyard looting again, and then we'll go to Fort Gale to get some items. Flame of the Red Mains, Ash of War, and the Flame Grant Me Strength spell. We'll talk about them as we get to them. We just ride to the graveyard here. Pick up some money. Avoid these slug trash heap things. I don't really know what they're called. I've never got hit by them, but there's been a few times where I've gotten close. We just head on down here. Get out our sword to kill the invisible scarab. And then here, luckily we get it first try. And that gives us Flame of the Red Mains. And Flame of the Red Mains, I only use it on Elden Beast to avoid his Elden Stars move, because Elden Stars is just extremely difficult to avoid, and potentially RNG, or anyway, I don't want to deal with it, so Flame of the Red Mains it is. I don't use Flame of the Red Mains on any other boss, because same with like sleep or parrying. I feel like just spamming Flame of the Red Mains on bosses to kill them and just like sort of stagger lock them is lame in my opinion, so we don't use it on any other boss. And then there we got Flame Grant Me Strength, which just is just a damage buff spell for physical and fire damage. We use that on most bosses after Godrick, because we don't have the stats to use it until after Godrick. And then yeah, we went that direction, and then we come back to this halfway point, so you don't have to run through there again. And then we go to the, I don't know what number, the 3rd Church of America maybe, to get the Flask of Wondrous Physic, which is just basically a potion you can use to give yourself different buffs. Explaining all these things for the new people who don't play Elden Ring. We just head on down those, what are they called? Spirit Spring wells, falls, Spirit Spring. I think they're just called Spirit Springs anyway. There's a Sacred Tier to upgrade our flask, and then there's the Flask of Wondrous Physic to apply buffs. And then I need it to be morning in the next place, so we'll make it morning in a second here, and then also just put some stuff in the physic and put Golden Vow on my greatsword, because we'll be using that later. And then I've made it morning now, so that some nighttime enemies don't spawn in the next area. Some inventory management, and then we go to this next area. Yes, Grail's Dragon Barrow. Run past the Black Blade Kindred there, and we just head off and try to avoid these Vulgar Militia dudes. And we just run along to not this bridge. This bridge on the right there has a dragon, and I used to just run past the dragon, but one time it hit me, so I don't want to deal with that anymore. I saw Bushido Yu just runs past it in his Elden Ring run. I think he did it on the God run too, the 7th game, but anyway, I got hit by it before, so I don't want to do it. Instead, I go to this lower area, just run past. I stay off the road here because there's traps on the road, and then this lower bridge. At night, it has a boss enemy, but in the morning there's no enemy, so that's why we made it morning earlier. And just run past here without any harassment from enemies, all nice and safe. And we head on up to Lens Rise, or from Lens Rise up here to this little graveyard, get some more money. Just lots and lots of setup for the rest of the game. Past these eagle things. I've never got hit by this lightning before, and I know it doesn't count as a hit in the rules, but I don't know, I seem to have avoided getting hit by the lightning ever. So that feels nice. And then head up this Spirit Spring, heading up to Fort Feroth. And Fort Feroth has a Dectus Medallion half to get up to Altus Plateau quickly and easily without fighting anything. And here we get this grace so that we don't have to backtrack once we get the Dectus Medallion. Head up here, come in the fort, and then we just sneak past these enemies, and then here, the only usage of a kukri we'll have, we just throw a kukri at the wall here to attract all these enemies to it from the sound, and we wait for them to get past so that they don't see us, and then we head up the ladder here. There is a bat that does see us, but they're too slow to hit us ever. And then we switch the kukri to the throwing daggers because we won't use the kukri for the rest of the game. And then here in this chest is the Dectus Medallion half, the right one, and then we teleport back to the grace we just got, so we don't have to backtrack through the fort. And then next we head off to this giant skeleton head thing here to get some upgrade materials and another stone sword key. We used one of them to get the green turtle talisman, and then we use this next one at the end, like after setup ends, to get the iron web blade. But yeah, so we got stone sword key and some upgrade materials, some smithing stone 7s and 8s. And we quickly head off here to the Church of the Plague, I think it's called. We just pick up these sacramental buds and Aeonian butterflies to sell them, because they sell for 100 each, which means it's worth it. Most other material pickups sell for like 10, so they're not really worth it. And back there we also picked up a sacred tier to upgrade our flasks a bit. And then make this jump here to come down without taking fall damage. You can just run off these roofs, but you'll take fall damage, and even though it's a no-hit run and not a damageless run, I would still rather avoid the fall damage. And we head on down here, and our next stop will be the impassable Great Bridge Side of Grace, which we'll use later to get to Radahn quickly. I don't have to do this part right now, I just do it now so I don't have to run here later. There was my old route, I used to do this running section right when I was gonna kill Radahn, and I've messed up the jump onto the bell tower thingy earlier, probably because I was nervous. And so we just do it at the beginning here to get it out of the way sooner. Pick up another golden seed for flask upgrades. And head on over to the impassable Great Bridge Side of Grace for when we fight Radahn much later. Let me tab out to make sure the recording's still going. Yep, that's all good. Okay, and then yeah, we get the grace, and then we head back to the third Church of America to continue on with the setup. And then here, I want it to be nighttime, so I make it nighttime. And then we head off to... First we go to the minor Erd tree there to pick up some crystal tears for the Flask of Wondrous Physic. And just head it on over there. A lot of running on the horse. This is setup. On past the Siofra elevator there. And here's the minor Erd tree where we pick up the crystal tears, spiked cracked tier, and the green spell crystal tier. We'll be using both of those. The spiked cracked tier increases charge attack damage, and then the green spill tier increases our stamina. We'll use both of those, not at the same time, but in the right situation. And then here there's a quick smithing stone pickup. Most of the smithing stone pickups aren't strictly necessary because I can just buy them, but it saves a little bit of money, so I do it, and it doesn't, there's no danger to it anyway. Sneak past the Rune Bear here and continue on our way. Oh, and the talisman we just picked up is the Axe Talisman, which also increases our charge attack power. We'll use that for certain bosses and enemies. And then here I get the bow out in preparation for clearing Fort Height. And this place is the reason I wanted it to be nighttime. Just wait for an opening to come up on the cliff here. Get past those enemies, pick up another golden seed. And then I fail this jump here. I think I get it on the next go. Yeah. And then here we clear Fort Height Just get some quick headshots on the commoners. And clearing this fort I got from LilAggy, because I used to watch his streams a lot. I still kind of do. I used to really like his no-hit runs and attempts. Never got to know all remembrances, but hey, he tried. He did get the any percent though, and I'm basically just copying all his strats to clear this fort. Just shoot everything with a bow. And then for the rats, I just do a mighty shot on them to get them in one hit, and then for the commoners, just headshot them. If I miss an arrow or two, it doesn't really matter. I can usually recover. I don't think I've gotten hit to any of the enemies here. I'd have to look through my notes. I've kept notes on like where I've gotten hit through like all of these attempts, but I don't think I've gotten hit by the commoners or the rats here. Maybe the rats, definitely not the commoners though. This guy, I don't think I actually need to kill. I just did it because Aggie used to do it. And then we buff there and shoot this guy once, and then walk up for a melee fight. I rolled kind of early there, but it's within the window, and then to fight the knight, basically just spam R1 because he staggers from every R1, so there's no danger in just spamming. So I do that. I used to wait for backstab openings, but that was before I switched to using the greatsword. So yeah, I used to know how to fight him to get the backstabs, but now I just wait for any opening pretty much and just spam R1. So it's a lot easier now, so that's nice. And then here I want it to be morning so that some bats up ahead don't spawn. And then I shuffle around my physic flask here and then put golden vow on the mace, because we'll be using the mace pretty soon. And then from here we just head on up to Liurnia for the next bit of setup. Let's see how far are we in here. 37:45. Yeah, there's probably another 15 minutes of setup or so. Here I'm just hitting things randomly, and I noticed that if you dink, then your horse slows down, so I did it twice to make sure that's what happened. So that's something new I learned. And yeah, I've been working on this for a little over 2 months, and I've done at least 70 attempts. And that's only the attempts that have gotten past around the 10-minute mark. If it ends around 10 minutes or before 10 minutes, I don't really count it as an attempt. But anyway, I've done many tries of this. But it is my first no-hit run, so I'm not too beat up about it, and I did get it in the end. I run past all these wolves. I have gotten hit by these wolves before. I think it was because I slowed down because I wasn't paying attention or something, and they have hit me before, but it was just once. And then here we just head on down. There is a sacred tear in that church on the left, but we don't need it. I used to pick it up because there's really no harm in getting it, but it just wastes a little bit of time, so I don't do it anymore. And then we ride Torrent down to the lake portion. It's not even a lake really, it's sort of like swampy, I don't know, it's certainly not a lake though. But anyway, we continue down here. There's a merchant up ahead and a site of grace, but we don't need anything to do with them. So we just ride on by, and there is a road on the left here, but if you stay on the road, there's some enemies that get you, and I'd rather not deal with them. I've gotten hit a couple times, or maybe it was just once. And then I switched to just staying on the right of the road where the enemies aren't there. And it's a lot safer, so I just do that. And we come up to this site of grace here because we'll be coming back here later. Get back on Torrent, and then head over to Laskir Ruins to get, I think they're called way gates or something, to teleport us around. Pick up this smithing stone here, and then jump up onto, and we get behind the teleporter because those projectiles can hit us, but if we stand behind the teleporter, then they just hit the teleporter. So that makes that completely safe, as far as I know. I haven't got hit there in a very long time. The video just stuttered, but I don't think it'll make much of a difference. Yeah. And then we get that grace here after we teleported, and then we hop down, and we're gonna head off to the Lucaria Crystal Tunnel to get a bell bearing so we can buy our upgrade materials. And we just ride on down to the Crystal Tunnel. I spotted a rune pickup here, so if I see them, I'll go and pick them up real quick, just for some extra cash. And anyway, this segment's really nothing special. We're just gonna ride our horse all the way there. I remember when I was first doing attempts, I didn't know exactly where to go, and I would just ride in the general direction, but now there's pretty much a extremely repeatable path I take between all these landmarks to get to the Crystal Tunnel. Because I have done this around 70 times. Or not all of them have gotten this far, but I've done this many times now. And we head on behind this rock, and then around here to get to the tunnel. Jump off, take the elevator down. Pretty soon here I'll backstep off of the elevator, because I've seen Gino Machino do it, and presumably it's faster than just jumping off, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. And what we do here is we just run through the whole tunnel. And then here, if you stay on the right, the enemy doesn't aggro, but only if you stay to the right. I used to just go along the normal path and they would aggro. I mean, I never got hit by them, so it didn't matter, but anyway. And then here I'm testing if you stay to the left, will the enemies aggro, and yes, they still do. And I just... yeah, the elevator is too slow, so I take the platforms down so I don't get hit by enemies. Then here I'm waiting for my stamina to regen so I can get past this wooden bridge thingy. And then here is like a critical point in the dungeon where I had to spend quite some time figuring out how I'm gonna get through here. And what I came up with is, yeah, jumping on, is just like getting to a certain point and then doing a bunch of jumps to avoid the arrows. And then we bait out an attack from that guy, because there was one time when I just ran straight through and then he landed on top of me as I was going down the platforms. So now I bait out an attack to slow him down, and then I jump off from the elevator part, because in my quick testing he can't jump that far down. And anyway, do some buffs and then come into the Crystalian arena, and these attacks I don't punish. I just wait for him to do something else, and he did it 3 times in a row. even 4 times in a row, which he's never done. And yeah, we're just waiting for this spinning attack so we can do this punish, and then roll behind him, and then get another punish, and then from here on we just stun lock him, which is totally fine by me. Gosh, I've gotten hit to the Crystalian way too many times, either because of just mistakes or inconsistent strats. I think my strat now, waiting for that attack and then rolling behind his follow-up, as far as I know, that this is actually really safe. A lot of previous strats I've come up with and used were all turned out to not be totally safe. Or easy to, or they would be too easy to make a mistake on, so I don't use those, I use this one. And then now we need the greatsword and the bow for the next bit. And then here, jump off that thing. That's to avoid fall damage and also to avoid a fall damage glitch, because there is another way to get down here, but the other way has like a very small chance that you'll get like this fall damage glitch where the game doesn't know that you landed on an intermediate platform and thinks you like jumped all the way down and just kills you at the bottom. And I've seen it happen to people where it looked like they totally should have been safe, so I just do this strat now. But I got that specific strat from YeetsCBD. I've watched a few of his streams, and even gave him a tip for a strat, so that was pretty cool. But anyway, we got the smithing stone from the gazebo back there with the flowers, and then now we come here to the crystalline woods. We get this grace so that we can sit down and reset enemies' positions, because this part's like not strictly necessary, but if they're in the right position here, then I can just ride past them and they won't notice me. Whereas if they're in different positions, they might notice me if I go through there. I've never got hit by them, even when I used to not reset their positions. But just being slightly safer, I'll just sneak by such that they don't see me most of the time. Sometimes they still see me, but again, it doesn't really matter. Here, I stay well away from that first balloon because there was one time I was too close and an enemy aggroed, and it was an archer, and right about now it shot me. And it's only ever happened once, and it happened after like 50 times of coming through here. So now I stay well away from the first balloon, and I guess all the balloons. Anyway, and we come through here to shoot them and get some money as a reward. And there's the last balloon. I think we pick up like 5 golden rune 6s or so. 5 or 6. Each of those is worth 2,000, so that's really good money. And then here we get out the greatsword because it's the only thing we need next. Don't need the bow. Since my mic cut out here, I can announce, I guess like a time code sync up here. We get to exactly 49 minutes now. Okay. And then we ride past all these traps. The traps have only hit me one time, and that's when I got stuck on a tree and was sort of immobilized for a few seconds, and then it got me. But if you just keep riding and don't get stuck on anything, as far as I know, it can't hit you. And then here we kill this invisible scarab to get the Hoarfrost Stomp Ash of War. We'll use that on Fire Giant to make the fight shorter. We don't use it on any other bosses or enemies. Or actually, technically, we also use it on Grail to kill her faster. But besides those two, we don't use it on any enemies. Pick up another Sacred Tier here, and then up ahead we'll get a Rune Arc pickup. But the reason we don't use the Hoarfrost Stomp Asherwar on any other enemies is because I also, like, as well as sleep, parrying, and I forget what else I mentioned, like other like things I think are lame. I don't like exploiting bleed or frost or just any status effects to kill enemies. It's not my preferred way to do things, but for Fire Giant, it just makes the fight shorter, and he has like huge amounts of HP. So for him, I make an exception because it would just be a really long fight, and I don't know. It's not really that interesting of a fight, so I don't mind speeding it up a bit with status effects, frost in this case. And then with our 2 Dectus Medallion halves, we come up the Grand Lift of Dectus to get up to Altus Plateau. Tab out, make sure the recording's still going. Yes, it is. And as we're here, we just ride up, get closer to the capital. And what is it? I used to kill Godrick and do some other parts of setup before this part, but now I do this as soon as possible, or as soon as it's convenient, just to get these running sections out of the way earlier. Like in my old routing, I would do this after killing Godrick, or after killing Radahn as well, I think. No, because for Radahn I need plus 12. But anyway, yeah. I front load all these running sections now to get them out of the way sooner. Makes the middle and end bit of the run faster paced. And anyway, yeah, we come up here around the side to avoid enemies, and then run past this tree sentinel. Luckily, I've never been hit by the tree sentinel because you just run past. Pick up these golden seeds, and then, yeah, it can get awful close and try to get you all the way out here, but then it just resets, which is fine. And then we pick up this Grace, because we're going to come back here shortly, but for now we're going to go to, I think it's called the Sealed Tunnel, to get the second Smithing Stone Miner's Bell Bearing, so we can buy more upgrade materials. And we'll be using the Great Sword to help us out with that. So we just come down here. Cross the water, past the mosquitoes and the snails. Or the land squirts, I think they're called. And then into the tunnel. Let me go past the illusory wall. Start sneaking so we don't attract enemies. And then the only one we have to kill here is this Vulgar Militia guy, which we just backstab. And luckily the +0 Great Sword kills him outright, so don't have to worry about that. And then we just run back up here because we don't need anything else. We got this Smithing Stone Miner's Bell Bearing. And we just run on out, and then we warp back to the grace we just got. And we continue on up the path, get to the next area. Golden seeds for our flask. And then we avoid the Margit clone on the left there, if you can barely see them. We don't want to fight him again. And then come up to this side of Grace. We will be coming back here in the future. And this is so we don't have to... And we do this running section early so we don't have to run it later. And we'll come back here after killing Godrick. And then here I'm just upgrading the flasks and then assigning most of them to the blue flasks. And then making sure Golden Vow is on the mace. And then coming out here to get this golden rune. And switching to the mace here. And then right now we're going up to the merchant up on this plateau cliff area to sell all the golden runes we've been getting and also buy some golden arrows. The golden arrows we'll use to kill a Deathbird later on. And we just buy them now to get it out of the way. And here we buy the golden arrows, we buy 9 of them. We sell a bunch of stuff, mostly golden runes, just to cash in all this money we've been accumulating. Sell those materials we picked up earlier, sell the weapons we don't need anymore, sell this shield we don't need, sell the armor we don't need. That's it, and here we go back down to the Laskia Ruins side of Grace to go and pick up the Dexterity Knot crystal tier for our flask, because what we'll be going with for this run is a dexterity build, so obviously the Dexterity Knot is nice. And we just ride up here to this side of Grace. We'll be coming back here to kill the Deathbird later. So we just get this while we're running by. The Scenic Isle side of Grace, and then head on over to get the Dexterity Knot crystal tier. And there it is, making sure to avoid the Albinoric there. And then up ahead we'll be getting the Vow of the Indomitable, Ash of War, and we have to kill a Scarab Beetle. So in preparation for that I just drink the flask to do a little bit more damage. It probably doesn't make a difference, but hey, nothing couldn't hurt. And then we buff with the Golden Vow here, and then switch to the bow and shoot the Scarab Beetle. And if you hit the Scarab Beetle itself, it does a lot more damage than hitting the, I don't know, the dung part of it. So we kill him quickly, and then we go back to the Table of Lost Grace to buy a bunch of upgrade materials and upgrade a bunch of our weapons, so we can do the the last bit of setup, which is clearing High Road Cave to get the Blue Dancer Charm. So up here we'll be needing 48 Smithing Stone 1s and we need 48 Smithing Stone 2s, we need 45 Smithing Stone 1s. We pick up 3 Smithing Stone 1s in High Road Cave, so we only need 45 for now. So we buy that, and then the reason I was staring at the wall for a second there was probably because I was looking at the stream. The stream that's in the background here. And then with all those upgrade materials, we upgrade the scimitar to +7 because it's going to be one of our primary weapons. We upgrade the mace to +6 so we can kill the golem in High Road Cave, and we upgrade the bow to +6 to kill things easier. And then with that, we head back to this side of Grace we got a lot earlier in setup, because now we're going to actually go to the cave to clear it. And here I think I'm looking at the stream, probably a boss battle or something. And then now we continue on, and coming down, Spirit Spring, and we come up here on the cliff side to avoid the land octopus. It's never hit me before, but it's gotten close a couple times, so now I just do a slightly safer thing. And we pick up the small golden effigies just so it doesn't appear on every summoning pool thingy for the rest of the game. And then here we dink as we fall, so we can get a faster animation than the normal falling animation. Sometimes we don't dink because we mess up the timing a little bit, but that's fine. Alright, at the bottom here, gonna take out some wolves so they don't bother us. Get both of them in one swipe, it feels pretty good. And then there are a couple more wolves in this room. We don't need to see them, we just need to lock on and kill them. Switch back to the torch here. And then kill that bat. And then basically just clear this atrium area full of bats. That one, that one, that one. This one. These ones need Mighty Shot because they're too far away. Otherwise I would have to use 2 arrows. And then get this last bat here. There is another bat in this room, but it's in a place where it can't or it hasn't ever hit me before, so I just leave it alone. It's on top of this waterfall. Take some fall damage so we heal up, even though it doesn't matter. And then we pick up the Shamshir, which is another one of our primary weapons. And I have fallen on those jumps back there before, so now I hold down the button extra hard so I don't miss the jumps. And then here we do our full buffs so that we can kill this golem with the script I've made. Before I wouldn't need any buffs to kill this thing, but one time I was not able to get the riposte because the golem was like clipped into the ground, so I didn't have access to his chest, and with that I couldn't kill him, and then he got up and hit me. So now I just do this this strat where I just hit his ankles 5 times or whatever it is, and that has worked every time. So there's that. And now we head back to the round table hold to upgrade the Shamshir we just got. Our Shamshir is going to be in our right hand, and the scimitar will be in our left eventually. And just checking if there's anything I need to sell. Sell the torch. And And then after that, we're going to do the second bit of Stormveil, clearing the way to Godrick. And the first thing we do here is we just jump off and head down to get the iron wet blade behind this stone sword key gate, imp statue, whatever it's called. And then to kill these guys, we just spinning slash a couple times. As far as I know, they just get stun locked no matter what attack they choose to do, so that is completely safe as far as I know. I've done it many times. And then here I'm gonna change out the physic to get dexterity and strength so that the bow does more damage up ahead, and then change the curved swords to keen so they have more dexterity scaling. And then make it nighttime so that enemies have a shorter aggro range. I don't know if it makes a difference in this section, but I've done it every time, so I don't really care to find out if it does happen to be important. And then up here we're gonna get the, I think it's the Claw Talisman, and so we just clear out these enemies here. Headshot, and then this last guy, I just kill him with arrows, and yeah, even if you're sidestepping very slowly, if you're far away enough, his crossbow bolts don't hit you, so that is safe as far as I know. I've never got hit by his crossbow bolts. Head up the ladder here, get the Claw Talisman for more jump attack damage. It will be used for almost every boss fight. And then moving on. Sneak around here. Get this guy in the head, and then wait for this guy to come here. He always pulls out his crossbow, and we get a mighty shot off on him. And then up here, just run on past. And nobody sees us, so that's great. And then here we just pick up some more smithing stones. And we pick up this grace, and we'll get we'll lower the lift over here, because there's a couple things I need to do in the meantime, so we'll let the lift come down, and then while that's happening, I'm gonna go over here to get some items. And then here we do our full buffs and shoot fire arrows to kill these things in one hit. Otherwise they would be way too much of a pain, being flying enemies. And then get this one in the head as well. Just kill him. And then quickly switch over to our weapons we'll use for the next bit. And just generally pick up items and...
Your only mistake was your choice of muster. Let the wind...
Yeah. It's another golden seed, and then get some stuff ready because we're gonna kill Grail next. Pick up another smithing stone there. And then here we head off to kill Grail. I could technically do this as soon as I get the hook claws and the blood grease, but I just do it now, just because. Do some management there, and then we pop the gold pickled foulfoot so that we get more money for this, and then drink the flasks so we have more stamina. Apply the blood grease so that we apply the bleed status effect more effectively. And we just do this for, I think when I've timed it before, it's been like 80 seconds or so, which is a lot faster than what other runners do. Since we're using the claws, apply bleed very fast, and then the blood grease helps a lot as well. And we just hack away at his ankles for about 80 seconds or so. And we need another blood grease, since this lasts longer than a minute. For killing it takes more than a minute, and the blood grease only lasts 1 minute, so we need to apply it somewhere in the middle. And then we want one more bleed proc here. And then you switch to Hoarfrost Stomp to get one Frostbite proc here to finish it off. Or finish her off, I guess. Ground the dragon. And we just do all this, so we get about 100k runes, which is quite nice for leveling up and stuff like that. And then also switching over to our curved swords and applying the, or equipping the jump attack talisman. And then here I should, yeah, I'm just double checking Ashes of War and the Physic Flask, and then we level up endurance and dexterity to 26. It's like that every time. It's very consistent. And then we make it noon again so that it's easier to see the boss, brighter. Anyway. Oh, and we'll also put on the Exalted Flesh, because we'll use it in Godrick's second phase to make the fight go faster. And we drink outside, since it lasts 3 minutes, it lasts a long time. And then I could use Golden Vow in or out of the gate, it doesn't really matter. But I do it in the gate this time. And just run on down and wait for something I can punish. I could punish that. This one, I don't punish that. But this thing, I can strafe it and then get a couple slashes in there. And then when he does that attack, you can get off a bunch of jump attacks, and then now that the phase transition is happening, I buff fully. And then here I jump early so I can get like the extra hits on the jump attack. And then here if I get in all the attacks I just got, then I can just finish them off with a couple throwing daggers. And that thing I did earlier where I jumped early, there's like a sort of a glitch that can happen sometimes where if you have a jump attack that hits multiple times, like with the dual-wielded curved swords, some of the hits in the jump attack can like hit twice, so you can like do more than the normal amount of damage. And it seems to happen more if you jump slightly earlier. So yeah, Godrick's dead, so now we're gonna go activate his Great Rune, and we make it nighttime. I think the nighttime is consequential for this next bit here. And we just have the dagger out because we're not going to attack anything, and we'll use the quick step shortly. And yeah, I figured out you can jump up here and around to get down here. And I used to go to the far end of these ramparts, but I found out from watching dinossindgeil that you can just jump down this like little side path here and get past these guys pretty easy. So learned a bunch of strats watching Dino actually. It's all been very helpful. And then sneak past that Lion Guardian back there. And then we move on to these golems up ahead. And this is where we'll use the quick step skill to make the dodges a little bit easier. I don't really need the quick step, strictly speaking, but it just makes it so that I don't have to let go of the B button while I dodge. I don't need that second quick step, but I do it just because I want to be extra safe. And then here, quick step to avoid that. And then wait for the archer to shoot his shot here. And then run past. And his turning ends pretty early, so like he can't like turn all the way this way. So there's no danger of getting hit by his second shot, pretty much, as long as you keep running. And here I tried to get on my horse, but of course you can't get on your horse here. So just run up, open the door, and we'll ride the elevator up to activate Godrick's Great Rune, which we'll use for the rest of the game, because it's pretty easy to get and it's very, very helpful. We'll also just pop some of these golden runes we've gotten, get some more money. We're waiting to get up here, and also we'll get ready for the next bit of the run here. Hour 17. And we activate the Great Rune. And we should be... Yep, just heading back up to the Outer Wall Battleground side of Grace to get a couple items that will be useful. And then here what I do is I equip the Flame Grant Me Strength spell and also equip the Great Rune we just got. And then pop the Rune Arc, pick up a little money as well to get the bonus from the Great Rune. And we're gonna kill this Scarab Beetle up here to get the Lightning Slash Ashavor, which we'll use for... We only use it on Godskin Duo, but, still useful. And we do our buffs and we get close and shoot the Scarab Beetle directly so we can kill it in one shot, which is very nice. And I also unequipped my sword before shooting it because with the Blue Dancer Charm you have more attack power the less equip load you have. So, and yeah, killing it in one shot is very nice. You can kill it in like a few shots. As long as you make the follow-up once hit, but just killing it instantly is a lot nicer, so I do that now. And then what we're going to do at the Highway Lookout Tower is get the Great Bow and some Great Arrows, which will be used every now and then for the rest of the run. do that, we do our buffs, and we switch to the Shamshir with the Spinning Slash skill equipped. And the script here is to run at this guy, Spinning Slash him a couple times, and then come down and wait for the torch pole guy to come down, kill him. He doesn't always get hit by the first couple spinning slashes, but whether he does or he doesn't, when he comes down, you can always kill him. And that script took a while to come up with, because I really want the great bow for some upcoming sections, but clearing those two enemies out is really tricky actually, because the guy with the shield can cast some perfumes at you that like instantly explode, and which is obviously really bad because I mean it's very difficult to avoid that. So anyway, that was the script I came up with and sort of refined. And the Deathbird here, we just come up on top of these ruins and wait for it to either do an attack or stop moving. Sometimes it doesn't attack us at all. And then get a good spot here. But I slightly mismanaged it. And anyway, yeah, we just use the golden arrows because he's really weak to, what's it called? Holy damage. And a bunch of other runners just use holy pots here. But, I don't want to get the recipe and gather all the pots and materials and things, so I just buy the golden arrows and just shoot it with the holy arrows until it dies. That is good, okay. Yeah, we just change our setup here so we can use the great bow for the next section. And for that we go to the gate front, side of grace. And we don't want this nighttime enemy to spawn, so here we make it morning. Make sure everything's on the up and up. And I'll just ride on out here. So we can do a little more damage up here. And then we want the Determination Ash of War from the Scarab Beetle, so we kill it. And in the process we also use the great arrow we just shot, distracts the enemies on the bridge. So that's good, yeah. Like the main purpose of the great bow is to use its great arrows to distract enemies in place of using kukri. Although at one other point we'll also use it to kill some enemies, but it's mostly used for distraction. Oh yeah, and like this section is the whole reason I switched, or I used the great bow, is to kill this guy, and then I used the great arrows to distract this big congregation of enemies. For a little bit I tried using just kukri to distract them, but it seems like kukri don't make as much noise as great arrows, so it wasn't as effective. But using the great arrows works really well. And these guys are being very uncooperative today. Like sometimes I just need to shoot, I don't need to shoot like any extra arrows to get them all up in a group away from me, but here they very uncooperative. That guy gets shot as soon as he starts blowing. But yeah, the main reason I need to distract all of them is because there's a Caden mercenary on a horse back there, and he's very annoying because he's very mobile being on a horse. And he's also annoying to fight for the same reason, being on a horse. But with the great arrows I can just distract him with that, so that works out quite nicely. In here I just get set up a little bit for the next section and then warp back to the Table of Lost Grace. Oh yeah, and then the whole reason we did that whole thing was to get the Great Axe. And I use the Great Axe because it has like extremely high base damage, and so its charge attacks do a huge amount of damage, similar to the Serpent Hunter. But I don't go to the Volcano Manor to get that weapon. So instead I just use the Great Axe. And then here I'm changing out my physic for the next section, because what we'll do next is kill Radahn with the Great Axe. And I equip the Flame of the Redmanes on the Great Axe, but I don't use Flame of the Redmanes, I just use it for the fire affinity it gives. Because having fire on it does more damage than if it were just physical, at least at this point. And then, yeah, just upgrade the axe with the materials I got, and then sell the hook claws because we don't need those anymore. Sell the leather draped tabard we picked up earlier. And then here, I'm just double checking if everything's all shipshape. And then we head off to Radahn. And for Radahn, we just wait for the, there's this one opening he gives that lets you get off 3 charge attacks, so we just wait for that opening. And then the rest of the script follows after that opening. There was a time a while back where if he didn't give you the opening right away, I would just warp out. But I found that with my setup and the script options I have, even if my buffs run out, at least the Golden Vow and Flame Grammy Strength buffs, if those run out, I can still kill them without... I can kill him without those buffs just fine. And there's no real danger, so I don't need to warp out anymore. And then here we just pick up another smithing stone. Take the elevator down. And then the talisman I got from the Deathbird earlier was, it just gives you more attack power when your health is low, so I use the Bloody Slash Ash of War to lower my health. So I get the damage bonus from the talisman. And then here... I think I tab out to make sure the recording is still going well, and it is, so then I come back and go through the waygate. Coming in here, I just dodge his arrow once, let him deload, and then come back in. It's, so that he doesn't attack me with the arrows anymore. It's a very well-known strat. Pick up these great arrows here, and then he gives me the opening right away, so I go right in. then I get the 3 charge attacks, and then he has his scripted move here. Get off another charge attack, another scripted move here, and then I can get off 2 more charged attacks, and then he staggers, and I go in for the riposte. And then I come in quickly to get off another charge attack before he flies away, and then an R1 to kill him. And that's the best version of the script. If he doesn't give me the opening at the beginning right away, and I do less damage because my buffs run out, even if he flies away, when he comes crashing back down, I can get off another 3 charge attacks. And with like all of that together, it means basically this script is foolproof as long as you get that opening at some point, even if your Golden Vow and your Flame Grammy Strength buffs run out. But yeah, I didn't get to show off the extended version of the script here, but that's fine. And then we come back to the roundtable hold to pick up our next talisman pouch. And then we equip our talismans to do the next section, and we change around our Ashes of War and Physic and things to get set up for killing the Draconic Tree Sentinel. And for the Draconic Tree Sentinel, I used the Determination Ash of War, which just lets you do more damage for 1 hit. And I also have the Keen Affinity on it, which increases its dexterity scaling, because at this point I have so much dexterity that even applying it to a Great Axe, it's more beneficial than any other affinity. And then we're all set up as soon as we get here, so I immediately start riding off. And I think I thought I might have seen a glowing skull, so I looked back there, but there wasn't any. But here's one here. And we're gonna ride until we get to the Draconic Tree Sentinel, and it's basically like a non-fight. It's like completely scripted, and it is extremely easy to do. So there's really no pressure as long as I don't screw up the setup in a major way. And then there I just checked to see how far along we are. Yeah, about 126 in game time, about 132 in real time. Let's see. Yeah, checking up on the recording. Still good. And yeah, we just follow a basic path up to the Draconic Tree Sentinel, avoiding the Golem Archer up here. And then here we do our Bloody Slash, just set up the Red Feathered Branch Sword Talisman to give us more attack power at low health. So I believe it takes 6 slashes to lower my health enough. Restore our FP, make sure everything is all good. Everything is all good. So then we sneak around the side here, behind the Draconic Tree Sentinel. And so we simply drink, we Golden Vow, we Flame Grammy Strength, and then we switch to two-handing the Great Axe. We unequip our other things so we have less equip load. We apply Determination and just do a series of charge attacks. It's really, really easy. And they die easily. So that fight is a non-issue, but anyway. Just heal up, restore FP, and then we continue on with the dagger and the bow. The dagger is in case we need to quick step, and the bow is to kill one of the small envoys up ahead. We only need to kill one of them though. The other ones are not an issue. Pick up the magic grease here. We'll use it on 3 of the bosses. It doesn't really increase the damage output very much at all. I don't know how much. It probably increases like your damage by like 1 or 2% or something, but I still put it on there because I think it looks cool, and I don't know. I have the grease, I might as well put it on. And then coming up here, we'll kill one of the envoys with the bow, and we kill it because there was just one time, like I did this section like 30 times without issue, but one time this envoy came off of his pedestal and bonked me on the head, which was a hit, which it's very disappointing. And anyway, after the first shot, I forgot to keep applying Mighty Shot, so I killed him way slower. Normally I'd wait for the next cycle of the guy on the right, the spinning one, but I took so long that the cycle came at the right time anyway. So we just run past all them. And then up here, I might need to use Quick Step depending on what attack he uses, but he just blows a bubble, so I just jump on past him. And what is it? So I've gotten hit there from the head bonk one time, and one time from one of those last envoys on that last balcony hitting me, but in that second case, it was just because like he blocked me on the narrow path and I didn't like do anything about it. So I think that was like on me, like my mistake. As far as I know, the rest of that, as long as you do the right actions, that there's no like RNG to that running section. The only RNG part was the guy coming off of his pedestal and bonking me.
My utmost thanks for bringing me.
And then here I went to the
I shall depart.
I went to the
farewell.
bathroom, so I just
shall
let
leave Torrent.
the dialogue play.
I wish you luck in realizing you have fought long and hard.
Or do I?
I have no doubt you will become.
I was doing
Elden
something.
Lord. May you take the.
I forget what I was doing, but I don't know. I was doing something. And then here we just change our physic flask around. Apply some Ashes of War. Equip the Great Axe, because we'll need it in a minute or two. And then here we just run on out. Start sneaking. I'm not sure who I got this strat from, or if I just sort of found it on my own. Can't really remember. But anyway, yeah, we just block and do a bunch of sprint jumps up this wing here. Pick up this rune arc for no reason, because if we never get hit and never die, we don't need the rune arc. But anyway, on we go in any case. The ladder, and then I two-hand the axe for the enemy that's coming up. And then here we just run around him, and backstab him. I got that hop, or I got that strat from watching the Happy Hob. His no-hit run of this game. So that's a nice strat, just circle around him and backstab. come down here, get another smithing stone, avoid the archer. I'm not sure the archer even can hit you, even if you like staying completely still, but I've never stuck around to find out. And we just sneak past these dogs, and this last dog always sees me, so just start running. There's really no danger. Ugh, as long as you keep running. Pick up the hammer, smithing stone, and this hero's rune. There's a rune arc on the table there, but I skip it because I don't need it, since I'm not going to get hit. And then pick up pick up Alberich's set. We just pick it up to sell it for 800 runes. It's a small amount of money, but it is some amount of money, so I pick it up anyway. And here, I think I was looking at a boss fight Dino was doing on his God Run attempt. I'll find out tomorrow if he finishes it up. Hopefully it's the end for him. Successful end, rather. I'm here on the round table hold to pick up some upgrade materials to upgrade the curved swords and get ready to fight Goldfrey or the Godfrey spirit. Gee, this is taking a while. Maybe this is when he was fighting Ornstein and Smo, maybe? It must have been, because this has taken a long time. Alright, but anyway, yeah, now that we're done with that, we just buy the upgrade materials we need. And I'm guessing I'm looking back at the, the boss fight or something. That's why I'm pausing. And we got the upgrade materials, now we're going to upgrade the swords. And we'll equip them here in preparation. It's all well and good.
I didn't want me doing much, just lay out.
And then, what is it? We want the great axe to be plus 13 with our limited amount of smithing stone 5s. So we do that one first and then put the rest into the curved swords to plus 12 each. And I guess I'm looking back at the boss fight again. And then just double checking that all the Ashes of War are in order. And then sell off some things I don't need. The Draconic Tree Sentinel pickups and the Alberic set. And that should be all. And then we head on back up to the West Capital Rampart side of Grace. Get ready for Goldfrey. And real quick here, I'm going to level up. Or I'll just look at the boss fight some more on the Dino stream. Alright, but yeah, we do level up endurance to 32 and dexterity to 33. And look at the boss fight some more. Oh gosh. This run probably could have been a couple minutes faster if I wasn't trying to look at Dino's stream. But anyway. Holy cow. Okay, yeah, the video is still playing. Jesus. Gosh. Alright, yeah, just double checking everything. Now we do our bloody slash here to get the red feathered branch sword bonus. There it is. Get rid of the Misericord. Drink the blue flask, and then we two-hand the Shamshir. We head off towards Goldfrey. And this upcoming strat I actually found out all on my own, so I'm pretty proud of that. And in case I mess it up, I drink the flask here, since it lasts so long. And the strat is to stay on the right here so that that Guardian doesn't notice. And then if you kill this Guardian and sneak by the rest of them, none of them notice you. So really all you have to do is sneak past that one Guardian, kill that Guardian I just killed, and then the rest of them you can just sneak by. And there's no like running or enemies chasing you or anything, so it's a very nice strat actually. I'd recommend it to all runners, but they probably won't see it, so anyway. And this guy I kill just in case he chases me to the fog gate or something, because there was one time they hit me through the fog gate. And anyway, here we kill Goldfrey using all my cool strats and all these punches I know. Wow. And yeah, I just fight him like really up close and personal because it's a pretty fun fight in my opinion, and it's quite consistent. At least if you learn all the random crap that can happen, it is a very consistent fight. I have lost many runs to him though, because there was like always another, very rare situation that I had not anticipated and couldn't account for. But at this point I think I've learned pretty much all of them, so the fight's very consistent now, and I've not made a fatal error in quite some time, or I don't know, a couple weeks at least. But yeah, fighting him like really close and fast like that is another thing I like a lot. Just showing off how well you know the bosses and how confident you can be fighting them is one reason I really like no hit as a concept. And then just get all our buffs and kill the black knife there. And then here we apply all our talismans back. I put the throwing daggers in my quick item bar so that I can use them quickly against Morgott, because sometimes Morgott jumps away and I want to keep his poise up. I don't know if I can't remember if I use it in this particular fight. But then also I put Golden Vow on the Great Axe so that I can use it quickly in the fight, and I don't need any other Asher War. So I just put that on there and then make it noon so it's bright and easy to see. Double check everything's in order. And then coming up here, we'll sprint jump up these stairs to make it go a little faster. And then start setting up Red Feather Branch Sword. Oh, fighting Morgott reminds me, a lot of runners use Margit's Shackle or Mohg's Shackle for those bosses, and that's another thing I think is lame, is just, just use an item so that the boss can't do anything for a few seconds. That sounds pretty lame to me, so I don't use that either. I just learn the fights. So anyway, we do all our buffs and then come in here, ready to fight. Here, yeah, that is an extremely rare variation that I luckily survived. And here I thought I pressed the the strong attack button to do a jump attack, but I guess I didn't. So I just get the next punish, and then here is the normal variation that he's supposed to do. And we do that, and he tries to summon the swords, and I think I'm fucked here, but I do a last R1 to break his poise, get a strong attack in there, and then he'll give me one last one of these, so I can phase transition him. And I really like this setup because I can get his, I can get him to like 1/3 health or so when he's supposed to phase transition at half health, so I think that's pretty neat. And here I just get the punishes in, throw the dagger, wait for an opening, and then here I tried throwing a dagger at him, but he didn't want to cooperate, so I just waited for a real opening and just finished him off there real quick. So yeah, that fight wasn't very clean with the missing the jump attack, and then he had a really weird variation, like really weird rare variation on that one combo or like sequence of moves. But hey, I'm still alive, so that's good. Anyway, yeah, I've also like lost a lot of runs to Morgott, so I've spent a long time refining strats and practicing punishes and stuff.
Hello again.
So that feels pretty good to
Old friend. Allow me
have it work out in a run.
to converse with you.
And yeah, if you're like on top of your game using these strats, the Morgott fight is like very consistent. It's just
the thorns are impenetrable.
it's just on you to execute. And then here I think I do actually go to the bathroom, so I just let the dialogue play while I go on a bathroom break.
Is to pass the thorns. My purpose serves to aid in that very act. So I'd like you to undertake a new journey with me to the flame of ruin, far above the clouds, upon the snowy mountain tops of the giants. Then I can set the Erd Tree aflame and guide you down the path to becoming Elden Lord.
And I don't know when I get back, so probably be a minute here. Someday I'll get back here, finish the run. Let me check on the recording. Recording is good. Okay. Taking a break. I guess I should be glad I didn't go on a snack break, because I've done that before and it's taken like 15 minutes. but those runs always died, so it's just a bathroom break, but still quite long. Any minute now. Oh, I'm back. Here, I think I'm putting my headphones back on. I have one pair of headphones for listening to the game, and I wear a headset around my neck to record my voice. Okay, now I think we're back on. And just gonna shuffle around some Ashes of War here. Getting ready for the next running section. And yeah, heading back to the Avenue Balcony side of Grace to head off to the Forbidden Lands and the mountaintops of the Giants. Getting my buffs ready. Just double checking everything. And here we just run past the Erd Tree avatar. I am 100% sure it can't do its ranged attack if you just keep running, but I still look back anyway for some reason. And yeah, we just run on over to the big door over here. Buff real quick. And here's the last section. We'll use the great bow to kill things. Use it to kill this misbegotten and one more misbegotten up ahead. And for this section, I used to just run past all of them, and I usually wouldn't get hit, but I have gotten hit like once or twice maybe, so it is like possible. So now I copy this strat from Dino to kill these two misbegotten and then sneak past the rest of them. Many strats copy from Dino, but they are really good strats, so can't blame me. Yes, and just take that path around. None of them spot me, and then just sneak on by without any worry. So that's great. Because yeah, there was one run where I got all the way this far hitless, and then one of the misbegotten followed me onto the lift and hit me. It was pretty funny actually. I was talking to my friends, like talking about how it is a possible situation, but it is extremely rare, and it happened as I was talking about it. And here at the top of this intermediate lift, we'll just basically just run by all these enemies, because I've never gotten hit just running past all of them, so until that happens, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. And this horse guy I learned from Gino Machino that if you just keep running, he can't hit you. So I just do that. Just keep running. At the end of the path here, we get to this other lift. Take that down to the Forbidden Lands. And then from there onto the mountaintops of the Giants. Oh, and here I have lost. I think can't remember if I know I've gotten hit here, but I don't know if I've lost a run here. But since then, I've made a definite path through the Forbidden Lands, so I never get hit here again. And I just go around the right here, so there's no trap. Jump across. That guy chooses not to attack me, so he doesn't actually engage in combat. And here on the right there's a Vulgar Militia hiding, waiting on top of a rock. And one time I hugged the rock, and he actually bonked me on the head as he was coming down from the rock. So now I just stay clear away from that, because I don't want that to happen ever again. So I just jump up the left bit back there. And here, the Black Blade Kindred comes up. Just run past him. I know he has a ranged attack, and I have heard that you can get hit by it, but as far as I can tell, if you just keep running, sprinting past him, he can't hit you, so I've never gotten hit here, so that's nice. And here we are at the mountaintops of the Giants, and it is a nice evening glow around here. Pick up this Grace, because we'll be using it in the future. And then here, I'm going to go pick up the Smithing Stone Miner's Bell Bearing 3, so I can get more upgrade materials. Run past these Zamor warriors. Come down this tunnel staircase here, pick up the Bell Bearing 3, Smithing Stone Miner's Bell Bearing 3, and then come back to buy a bunch of upgrade materials and upgrade the swords. And in the running section coming up, I will need to use Memory of Grace, which would get rid of all my runes that I'm holding, so I want to get rid of as many runes here as I can. So I buy the upgrade materials now, and upgrade the swords here.
No. Oh, don't pay me, just lay out you.
And get those. I get the Shamshire up to 19, I believe. And the Scimitar to 18. And then checking up on the Ashes of War. I don't want to sell that right now. If it's not the optimal play. And luckily, with leveling up like this, I end up with just 179 runes left, so that worked out very nicely. So it turned out that picking up those, what is it, picking up those 100 rune value materials during setup was worth it. And coming up here, we go around this side to avoid a hawk thingy. And coming around here. I know it's possible to get hit by this fire prelate up here, so I slash around that side of him so he turns around away from me. And I think this strat is consistent. I sort of picked it up watching LilAggy, and then I do the slash further on the side to make sure he turns around the right way. But yeah, I pretty much got that from LilAggy as well. And then I have lost a run fumbling this bridge running section here, so I always make sure to focus up doing it. But anyway, yeah, we avoid the Golem Archer's arrows. Come up here to get this golden rune. And everything's hunky-dory. And we continue on. And I get ready for the upcoming little thing I have to do with the smithing stones and a statue. You need the golem to open up the statue for you. So I get the Memory of Grace ready to warp out as soon as he opens up the statue for me, and I have the bow to get his aggro if he ever de-aggroes, which sometimes happens, and I think it happens in this run. And yeah, we're gonna come down here to do the thing. I've lost like a couple runs here, so at this point I think my strats are as safe as they can possibly be, and they're, as far as I know now, they're 100% safe as long as you do the right thing. But anyway, yeah, you just wait here until the golem comes up and hits the statue. And yeah, if it starts backing off, you shoot it with an arrow to get its attention again. And with that variation, there's really no danger. What I used to do even was I would just pick up the stones right away and then just ride my horse, away from the golem. But it has like other variations of attacks it can do, and those are much more dangerous. So now I warp out right away, because I really want those upgrade materials to get my swords to +20 and +19 for Fire Giant and Godskin Duo. But with all that over, I can get some of my equipment ready for Fire Giant. Put the Memory of Grace back where it was. And then right across the lake here to avoid Borealis, the freezing fog. Get some water here. Wait, I'm gonna mute and cough. Anyway, with Borealis out of the way, we can get some more upgrade materials at the top of this cliff here. First Church of America, I think it is. Yep, get some more Smithing Stone 7s there. Yes, past the First Church of America. And we'll come up on this graveyard, pick up some money, avoiding the dogs. I've never gotten hit here, so as far as I know this is safe, but you know, certainly dogs can surprise you, but it hasn't happened in many runs, so pretty confident with that one. Here, just come on down, we'll ride past all these. I don't even know what they're called, fire witches? I don't know. Fire hags? Fire monks, fire prelates, and such. They're really no issue, you just keep riding on past. And here we come across our first big chain. Andrew will be a big fan of these. But have never lost a run to falling off the chains, so that's good. And here we'll just ride past all the frozen fire giants and trolls and giant crows and things. Another thing I could mention is the controller overlay in the lower right. I actually made that on my own. Not like the code for it, but like the texture and the way it looks and the buttons and all that. Like I spent a few hours and made that in paint.net. So that was pretty fun, and I think it looks pretty nice. Gives a real clear indication of what buttons I'm pressing and all that. And coming up here, we'll be getting Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone for getting plus 25 weapon. And we just sneak behind all these giant crows so they don't see us. And we pick it up, and it'll be 2:13 now. Okay, just for time syncing purposes. So we pick that up and then come back here to upgrade our weapons. The curved swords. And here we can just empty all the things we need to sell, and then we duplicate the Hoarfrost Stomp so we can put cold affinity on both of the curved swords. So yeah, there it is, putting cold on both of them. And then we need Golden Vow on the dagger, since the other swords are being occupied with Hoarfrost Stomp, and then we upgrade them. And then here, we're ready for Fire Giant. Might need to level up a bit here, yeah, and then go on in for Fire Giant. And there it is. Just double checking everything. We can head on up to the upper chain. There's probably some plowing going on outside. And here we get red feathered branch sword set up. 6 bloody slashes, I think. It's probably 3, 4, 5, 6. That should be that. Get rid of the bloody slash dagger since we don't need it anymore. Get on our horse, drink the flask. And then we can buff here safely, since we're out of range. And then we sprint up, not using the horse because of these scoop attacks. And just dodge that. And just start hacking away at it. And to keep his poise in the right spot, for this first volley I do like all jump attacks. And then for the next bit I should do all just regular L1s. And I just keep hacking away, and there it is. I'm sure there's nothing coming after me. And I some jump attacks on his hand, breaks his stance. Beautiful. I'm gonna get all the jump attacks I need on him. And then we come away, get out of range, buff a little bit, come back. He spawns some fireballs, so I buff again. Shoot some fireballs at me, just dodge those. I want to get rid of the slow fireballs. And now the fight can begin. That, little punish, dodge that, wait for the next attack. Oh, this is a really good one. Huge punish window. And we get him, there we go. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that fight. The only thing that can go wrong is if he uses, he has this one breath attack where it has like humongous range and is very, you have to react pretty quickly to avoid it, and even so, if he does it in the wrong spot in the arena, then the fire could like bounce off an object and hit you, even though you're strafing it the right way with the horse. But he didn't do that this time. What is it? I did a run about a week. I think it was like a week ago, and he did that attack, and I didn't respond quickly enough. And then I think the week before that, he did that attack, and I did respond quickly enough, but the fire bounced off bounced off an object, and then it hit me anyway. So I think pretty much with that over, there's no more RNG elements basically to the rest of the run. Because yeah, Fire Giant is slightly RNG, like, I don't know, like 97% of the time. He won't even use that attack at all, and he'll just end the fight, but, or maybe like 90% of the time, more like. But yeah, with that over, there's pretty much no more RNG the rest of the run.
This world and death are you to commit.
And here we go to Fair Missoula, although my game will crash here, which was kind of annoying, but I don't think it disqualifies me, so I just deal with it. And here we get the thing, and I skip the cutscene to, go to Fair Missoula, and you see the cursor pop up there, and that's when the game crashed. So we're gonna sit here at this screen for a while. And I only capture the game window, so you can't see like anything else that's happening. I'm currently trying to close the game, but when it crashes on teleport or like saving quitting or things like that, like the game just takes like a whole minute to to shut itself down. So Won't be here for a while yet. And they're doing, I think they're plowing out there. I think that's what that is. Scraping the plow against the asphalt or something like that. Anyway, the game's still crashing. Although, yeah, it has shut down since that symbol's not in the upper left or the upper right. The save symbol. So it should be booting up here, I think. Yeah, okay, here's the opening screen. Yep, and there's the, you know. Alrighty. And we're in FromSoftware. I'm pretty sure the having the game crash is not against the rules, but I don't know, we'll see. I know I did it anyway. Didn't cheat or anything. But anyway, now we're in FromSoftware. We pick up some upgrade materials, get some money there, and continue on our merry way. Oh, I guess this reminds me here, another thing I don't use is Assassin's Gambit or other like stealth enhancing abilities, because if you can just sort of just run by all the enemies without them seeing you, that's also kind of lame in my opinion, so I don't use that either. Although that one, I don't really have a problem with at all. Like the sleep is like, that's really lame, but like just running past trash enemies, that's pretty understandable, honestly. I mostly don't use it just because I don't go to Volcano Manor at all. And with the any percent run, there's no like section that Assassin's Gambit would make like super easy, because the running sections are at this point they're pretty easy with my strats that I've decided on. But anyway, I would sneak past those beastmen back there and run past the dragon. Just come on up here to get another upgrade material and sit at this grace. I sit here to get rid of the dragon because it just makes a lot of noise and it's annoying. And also, sometimes this beastman with the shield here, sometimes he'll like see me from far away and like walk towards me and sort of like pursue me for a long distance. I don't think it happens this time, but sometimes that happens if I have like a different timing of picking up that material, upgrade material. Come back here to get a hero's rune too, and then back up, continue on. And I'm sure there are a bunch of ways to get through this little section here, but what I found is I can just wait here for and here I am looking to see if the shield beastman is coming after me, which he's not. And I just wait for this beastman to come up and turn around. And I can come up behind him with a charge attack, break his stance, and then get the backstab. So I can continue on here without any trouble. And there's some lag there, but it's okay. On. And here I actually get fall damage. I don't normally get fall damage there, but it happened this time. And here you can just fall off that bit and then jump up and keep running past all these guys. That arrow always narrowly misses. This guy comes out here, you just run past. I pick up this somber smithing stone. I just pick it up to sell later because I think it's worth 1800 runes. I don't use it, I just sell it. And here I sit down to de-aggro all the enemies up there. I don't think they can get down here, but in any case, I just sit down there. And then I need about 10k more runes to level up, so I just pop a couple here, get one more level, and I'll level up at the next grace. With my route, I come down here. There is a rune arc around the left I could get, but this is a live run, so I don't need more rune arcs. And then my strat here is to just backstab this guy so that he is a little further behind when I start running past him. And just jump off here, come around, and I just want to get to this side of Grace up here. And then yeah, if you just keep running past all this stuff, then the knight doesn't pursue you all the way over here. If you do that part right. And here I get my little level up, and I double check my physic and my Ashes of War all in order. And I set up Red Feathered Branch Sword. Let me make sure the recording's good. Yeah, that's good. Okay. And then here I just destroy these candlesticks because the bosses can get caught on them, which I don't want to happen. Because I want to attract I want the fat one to run after me. I don't want him to get stuck on anything. So I just destroy those. It's not really necessary, but it can help sometimes. And then for the opening, I just run over behind this first pillar here. Column, whatever, and then I just wait for him to give me an attack. You can punish the fireball throws pretty easily, and then here you can punish that with a jump attack, jumping in the stomps. Jump to avoid that one. Here I just buff again real quick just because I have a little bit of time. And yeah, this was like a really optimal setup at the beginning here to just get the fat one face transitioned around that first pillar and then bring him back to this far pillar for his roll, and then come in and yeah, punish that, and then get a jump attack in there, and then get a bunch of damage as he's in his death animation. And then here I don't want to punish that fireball since the pillar was kind of blocking me. That was kind of, I think I responded to that slowly, but I was far away enough that it didn't matter. And then here it gives me a bunch of fireballs, so I get the two punishes, and then here I just do a little punish, and then I think I was out of range of those, but that was still kind of scary for me. And then here I'm just waiting for him to either summon or give me a move to punish, and this is a move I can punish. And what is it? Yesterday, that attack variation actually killed me. Like that exact sequence of him doing the spinny, stretchy move and then into the twirling slashes. That killed me, so I was ready for that today though. And then there, quickly he gives me some punishes, and then I just finish him off with some throwing knives. I could have just waited for him to roll and then got behind that far pillar in the back. But I opted just to finish it right then and there with the throwing knives, which I think was a good decision. But anyway, yeah, like another part of this run is I wanted to just sort of show that you can fight the Godskin Duo straight up, and it's pretty consistent, and like pretty much every time I get hit to Godskin Duo, it's because I did something wrong or like made a really bad risk assessment. And with this high amount of damage, and these like quick weapons, it's really not bad. I mean, I've had a lot of practice, but it's really not bad. And I was inspired by this one. I don't think they're a runner, but they do like I don't think they do like no-hit runs, but they like kill all the bosses no-hit and stuff, and they've done like melee only Godskin Duo Godskin Duo fights, and I was inspired by that to sort of replicate it. The YouTuber is mihai. They're on YouTube and Discord. I forget what Discord is. It's like either, I think it's Champion's Respite or Hemlock's Virtue or something. And anyway. Anyway, after Godskin Duo, we got the money, and then we killed the dog, and we come down here and come back up these steps, sneak past this beast man, and then we jump up on this thing here, and then come up here to get our second Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone. Just, yeah, pick it up and then run away. So now we have 2 Ancient Dragon Smithing Stones, so we can get both of our curved swords to plus 25, which is very nice. Sneaking past this beastman again. And then we just run around here. Pick up some extra cash. There it is. And then we run to the next site of grace. Run past this Crucible Knight. I'm pretty sure they can't attack you if you're down here. And they're not even officially engaged in combat since you can just warp out. And I go back to the round table hold to upgrade the swords to plus 25. Just sort of double checking everything's in order, and here I'll need 16 Smithing Stone 7s and 24 Smithing Stone 8s to get both of them to plus 25, so I do that. Break the table again.
You're up.
And here, get both of them to plus 25. Very nice. And sort out our Ashes of War back to the normal setup. And sell the money we picked up. And the Somber Smithing Stone. We don't need Black Flame Tornado, and we don't need Hoarfrost Stomp anymore, so we get rid of those. And that's about it. And I think we can go back to... yeah, we can go back to where we were. Continue the run. Yeah, and just get set up here. Get the setup ready for the next running section. And parts of this next section I got from Aggie, parts I've sort of discovered on my own. That jump right there is not necessary, but I have gotten pretty good at it, so I like doing it now. If you fall off from that jump, I used to fall off a lot more often, but even falling off, the birds never got to me in time, so as far as I know it's pretty safe, but I'm sure it is possible that the birds can hit you if you fall down there. But anyway, it hasn't happened to me. And then do the classic strat of just hitting him, and this time he just sits there and disappears. God, it's way too funny to me. Anyway, and then here we just kill off these birds. I miss, of course. And then after that, you just kill them as they come at you. when they eventually die, and this last one, you can just do a charge attack on it. Clear that out, very nice. And then here, I don't actually need the dagger, but in case something goes horribly wrong, the quick step is kind of useful, I suppose. And I pick up the money here. There's a somber ancient dragon smithing stone over there, but I don't need it for anything, so I don't bother picking it up. I don't use any somber weapons in this run. And wait behind this tree for this guy this beast man to walk past. It's very nice. And you have to sneak around the left side there, and then I can distract this guy with the great arrow. Sneak past him. It's pretty easy to do. And this next little bit, I'm pretty sure I got this from Dino, like the other strats, but yeah, you can just, or maybe it was someone else, I'm not really sure. But yeah, you can just shoot an arrow there, distract these guys, and then sneak past. I used to just run, like after I distracted the first guy with the great arrow, I would just run past through this building and dodge one attack from the guy with the cleaver. But I don't need to do that. If I don't need to do that, then hey, why not do it? Get the great bow ready for its last usage here. It has served me well. And yeah, for I think most of these great arrow strats, you can just use cookery, but I got the great bow, so might as well use it. Then here, you just get at one of these, get on the side here, and then shoot one of these little pillars. Then sneak on past the Draconic Tree Sentinel. It's very nice. And then set up Red Feathered Branch Sword. And then get my equipment ready. Should drink the blue potion here. Yep. And then, yep, drink the Wondrous Physic Flask, apply Magic Grease. Again, it increases the damage by like, I don't know, like probably like 2% or something, but it looks cool. And it can signify, like at the end of it, I can tell if the fight lasted more than a minute or not. And then here we fight Beast Clergyman up close and personal, like. Just let him finish his combos, they can get off a big punish. And here he does this attack, which is kind of annoying because it just kind of wastes time, but it's really whatever. Just let him finish another combo. There it is. Finish third combo. It's pretty easy. I can, like, this fight is extremely consistent. It's also really fun. Like I really like fighting Maliketh. Both phases, really. And here I'm gonna just dodge these things. And he's gonna do this thing. Come around, dodge into him, jump attack, and he shuffles over, and we finish him off. And then we pop another gold pickled foulfoot, so we get some more money out of this. Oh yeah, Maliketh's really good. Extremely consistent, very fun. You know, really good boss. And I really like fighting him like really up close and all that, like showing off my prowess. I don't know what's up with that sound glitch, but anyway. And here to kill Gideon, I need to set up the Great Axe for one more kill. So here I'm gonna get the Great Axe to plus 24, and then I'll level up a bit and go off to kill Gideon with my high damage setup. Let's see here. Yeah, and I just get all the upgrade materials needed. Go upgrade the Great Axe, and then probably fix my Flask of Wondrous Physic, level up, and yeah.
Who are you? Oh, no.
I'll get to Gideon in a couple minutes. I'm gonna sell off this bit of money. And I don't need bows or arrows anymore, so I sell off all that at this point. And I don't need the dagger, so I sell that as well. Sell all the ammo. It really doesn't make a difference to sell them or keep them, but anyway, yeah. And I'm pretty sure everything's in order, but I'm just double checking things here, making sure. And yeah, head back to the capital of Ash. And here I'm probably gonna set up my physic. Yeah, I need the charge attack here. And Ashes of Water are in order. I should level up here, yeah. Yeah, I give my endurance to 45, and then from here on out it's going to be all dexterity. Because with Godrick's Great Rune I get plus 5 to endurance, so that brings me up to 50 total endurance, and then anything after 50 endurance, there's like basically no benefit to stamina, so I don't go any further. Coming up here, I don't actually need this rune arc, but I pick it up anyway. And we'll just mosey on over to Gideon. What is it? The setup I have here is obviously leveled, but I have come up with a Great Axe setup to kill him at level 1. So if I ever need to use that, it's already been decided. I'll probably do some kind of level 1 run eventually, but I won't worry about it now. And we've set up a red feathered branch sword, drink our flask. And then we come in, we Golden Vow before he starts talking, and then we Flame Grammy Strength after he starts talking. Get rid of those to lower our equip load, and then we wait for a sound cue. I usually attack as soon as he says throne. Yeah, there it is. I think you can attack him a little bit earlier, but I just do this out of habit and consistency. Anyway, it's really just that easy. He's with this high damage, it's no issue. Alright, now he's finally done talking. Can move on to Horalu. Another really good boss. Right up there with Maliketh. And coming up here, we'll get this grace. We'll level up. I'll level up some more, set up some things probably, and yeah, get that 51 dex there. Set up the physic. Probably, yeah, double check the Ashes of War all in order, which they are. And yeah. Head on up to Orlu. Set up right for their branch sword. And what is it? I've had a lot of practice on Horlu, so I can fight him pretty well, just like Goldfrey. What is it? I lost a run here, I think last week, to like a really rare variation of really rare sequence of moves from him, so I think I've changed my strats to avoid that in the future, but anyway. Just come around, get a slash on, dodge those, jump attack punish. I'm trying to preserve my stamina, so I don't do the full jump attack with the L2 or the L1. Just avoid those things. And he's gone. And then here I come around to get a jump attack on him. And sometimes if I get like the extra damage glitch, the spike can go really fast, but I didn't, so anyway I have to go through all this. I like to jump because the jump has like a much bigger window. But anyway, yeah, that's the whole fight.
Thy strength
befits a crown. Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah. See, I like fighting Godfrey and Horlu a lot, so it's cool to just fight him straight up. And I'm getting ready for the Radahn setup. Yeah, and the reason I picked up the hammer earlier was for Radahn. So I need to get both of those hammers to plus 24. So I'm just gonna get all those upgrade materials here. And then I must be looking at the stream again or something. Pausing there. But yeah, we'll get both of these hammers to plus 24, just so we can kill Radahn very quickly and without any hassle. And what is it? Radahn at this point is like extremely consistent. Like I'm pretty sure I can handle basically anything Radahn does with the script I have. It's like, what is it? It's like a script, but there's like one open punish in it. You'll see. Yeah, I have to get like one non-scripted punish in, but besides that, the whole fight is scripted, and it's extremely consistent at this point. The Elden Beast fight was like, I would say, I don't know, only like 85% consistent or something like that. Just because it's really easy to make a mistake on it, because I haven't had as much practice, and it's the last boss, so mistakes are bound to happen. Anyway, but setups all over. And here I'm finally gonna put Valve the Indomitable on the small shield I put away at the beginning of the run. I use it in case Elden Beast, in case he does the Wave of Gold attack at mid-range, because if it's at mid-range, then there's no way to dodge through it, or at least it's like extremely difficult. Maybe I'm not sure. So if that ever happens, and then also his fist slam has like a really awkward timing, so I could also use it for that, because I can dodge his fist slam like some of the time, but it's pretty inconsistent. And then he has like Elden Beast also has an overhead like spinning slash that I can dodge that one pretty consistently actually, but it's in a live run it would be very nerve-wracking to time it right with the delay. So I would probably use it for that as well, but I won't need to use it at all in this particular instance, as you'll see. But anyway, I get all my buffs ready, and then I head in the door. And coming in here, you can start with 2 jump attacks, and then wait for, this is the one free punish, and then after that, this fight is scripted. That's scripted, this is scripted. I don't need to hit him that extra bit there, but I do if I can. And wait for him to get up a little bit, hit him with the last jump attack, and then just dodge through that, hit him once, dodge through that, hit him once. And I can like finish his like triple slam thing if I didn't get enough damage in earlier, but I pretty much always get enough damage in at this point. And now we're at the final boss, and I open with 3 jump attacks, and then I do 2 more jump attacks to keep his health well above 50%, so I can use Flame of the Red Mains if I did need to use it 4 times to fully stagger him. But in this case, he immediately gives me a punish opening, so I can just do 2 Flame of the Red Mains to stagger him. And then I do 4 jump attacks, is about all I have time to do. Do jump attacks again, and then final slash. And there's the run. I had a feeling if I did get the run, freaking Elden Beast would just like give himself away. Like normally, of course, it would do the Elden Ring attack, and then I'd have to get in a couple punishes to get in all the Flame of the Red Mains to stagger him to finish it off, but in this case it just, I sort of got lucky and it just gave itself away. And then here I'm trying to, I guess, absorb the moment or something. The ending of this wasn't as emotional as I thought it might be, because, I've been working on this for like 2 months, and it's a really cool run to me, like not using sleep, not scripting most of the bosses, and just like fighting them straight up with the twin blades. Like, I don't know, it's really cool to me. But I don't know, it wasn't quite as emotional at the ending as I thought it might be. But anyway, here's the end cutscene. I don't really feel like watching the whole thing, so I'll skip it at some point, but yeah.
The fallen leaves
I do watch most of this one.
tell a story.
The freaking lame-ass endings in this game.
Became Elden Lord. In our home, across the fog, the lands between. Our seed will look back upon us and recall.
And there's your boy.
Of fracture.
Your pretty boy. And yeah. Get some end credits here. World created by Hidetaka Miyazaki and George R.R. Martin. Directors Hidetaka Miyazaki. We will not be beginning Journey 2. Anyway, yeah, that's the run. 2:43:22. The fastest run I've had, because I didn't take a food break, and also I never died, so it didn't take up more time. Anyway, yeah. Save and quit to desktop, and a couple seconds here, I'll end the recording. Yeah, another 10 seconds here. My first no-hit ever. Pretty cool. Alrighty. Goodbye.